Leif Erikson stood on the deck of his long ship, the sturdy vessel that had carried him through many adventures. The wind whipping through his hair, a constant reminder of the untamed seas he had come to know so well. He gripped the railing, his eyes fixed on the horizon, where the sky met the sea in an endless expanse of possibility. His father, Eric the Red, had spoken of a land west of Greenland, a place shrouded in mystery and promise, a land of opportunity and riches, where fertile soil and abundant resources awaited those brave enough to seek it. Leif, a skilled sailor with adventure in his heart, had made a solemn vow to his father. He promised he would find this land no matter the cost. He would claim it for their people, ensuring their legacy would endure for generations. The ship creaked and groaned beneath him, a living thing eager to embark on this journey, as if it too understood the importance of their quest. The crew, a hardy bunch of Vikings, prepared for the voyage ahead, their faces set with determination and resolve. Leif, their leader, inspired confidence and loyalty in his men. His presence was a beacon of hope and strength. He was ready to fulfill his promise, to lead his people to a new world filled with endless possibilities. He would discover this new land, charting a course through uncharted waters with unwavering determination. He would make his father proud, and in doing so, carve his name into the annals of history as a true Viking explorer. The Draupnir, her sails full of the northern wind, sliced through the waves. The crew, their faces weathered by salt and sun, worked tirelessly. Leif, his hand on the tiller, steered a course west. He followed the sun, the stars, and the stories passed down through generations. His heart thrummed with anticipation and a touch of fear. The journey was long and arduous. Storms rose, threatening to swallow them whole. The men, their faces grim, battled the elements with unwavering courage. Leif, a beacon of strength, guided them through every peril. He kept his promise to his father at the forefront of his mind. He would not fail. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. The endless expanse of the ocean became their world. Supplies dwindled, testing the spirit of the crew. Leif, ever resourceful, encouraged his men. He reminded them of the glory that awaited them. He reminded them of the promise he made. The sea, a fickle mistress, offered glimpses of hope. Schools of fish provided sustenance. Birds, blown off course, hinted at land nearby. Leif, his eyes constantly searching, refused to give up hope. He knew in his heart that they were close. He would find the land his father spoke of. Then one crisp morning, a cry rang out. Land! Land ahead! Excitement surged through the weary crew. Leif, his heart pounding, climbed the mast. He strained his eyes, and there it was, a dark line on the horizon promising salvation and a new beginning. The promise he had made was within reach. As they drew closer, the land unfolded before them. Towering forests, their peaks shrouded in mist, lined the coast. Rocky shores gave way to sandy beaches. Rivers, like veins of silver, snaked through the land. Leif, his eyes wide with wonder, knew he had found something extraordinary. This was no ordinary land. This was the land of his father's stories. Section 5. A New World. The Draupnir, her journey almost at an end, glided into a calm fjord. Sheltered from the open sea, it offered a safe haven. Leif, his face etched with relief and excitement, ordered the anchor dropped. They had reached their destination. The promise he made was kept. Leif, followed by his men, stepped ashore. The ground felt firm beneath their feet. The air, alive with the scent of pine and earth, filled their lungs. This was a new world, pristine and untouched. This was a land of opportunity. Leif, his hand resting on the hilt of his axe, claimed this land for his people. Section 6. Building a life. The Vikings, with their usual efficiency, set about establishing a camp. They built sturdy shelters from the abundant timber. They explored their surroundings, marveling at the strange and wonderful flora and fauna. Leif, ever the leader, oversaw it all. He ensured everyone had a task. The land, fertile and abundant, provided for their needs. They fished in the teeming rivers and hunted game in the forests. They feasted on wild berries and fruits, their taste buds awakened by the bounty of this new world. Leif, grateful for the land's generosity, named it Vinland, the land of vines. He knew this land held the promise of a prosperous future. Section 7. Winter is coming. As the days grew shorter and colder, the signs of winter became unmistakable. Leif Erikson, the intrepid explorer, knew they could not stay on Vinland. Winter, harsh and unforgiving, was approaching with a ferocity that could not be ignored. They would return to Greenland, their ships laden with timber and tales of this newfound land, a land that held so much promise and potential. Leif, though reluctant to leave, knew they would return. The land of Vinland had captured their hearts and imaginations. This land held too much promise to be abandoned. The fertile soil, the abundant resources, and the sheer beauty of the landscape were too valuable to forsake. Before they left, Leif erected a large wooden cross on a hill overlooking the settlement. This act was not just a religious gesture, but a marker of their presence and their claim to this new world. It served as a beacon, a symbol of their presence in this new world, a testament to their journey and their discovery. It was a promise to return, a vow that this land would not be forgotten. Leif, his eyes fixed on the cross, vowed to come back to Vinland with more settlers ready to make this land their home. He envisioned a thriving community, a new beginning for his people in this promising land. Section 8. Return to Greenland. The journey back to Greenland was arduous. Storms, seeking to claim them, lashed at their ships. The men, weary from their long voyage, battled on. Leif, their unwavering leader, guided them through the treacherous seas. He carried with him the weight of his discovery, the promise of a new future. Finally, the familiar coastline of Greenland emerged from the mist. Relief washed over Leif. He had kept his promise. He had found a new land. He had returned home. He yearned to share his tales, to tell his father of the fertile lands that awaited them to the west. Section 9. Erik the Red's disapproval. Leif, stepping ashore, was greeted with a hero's welcome. The villagers, with their faces lit up with joy, surrounded him, eager to hear tales of his journey. His crew, their faces beaming, recounted tales of their adventures. They spoke of the vast oceans they had crossed, the strange lands they had seen, and the challenges they had overcome. But amidst the celebrations, Leif noticed his father's absence. He scanned the crowd, hoping to see the familiar face of Erik the Red, but he was nowhere to be found. Erik the Red, old and frail, did not share in their joy. He sat alone, a shadow of his former self, watching from a distance. He had not forgiven Leif for leaving. The pain of his son's departure still lingered, and the joy of his return did little to ease it. Leif, his heart heavy, sat beside his father. He could feel the weight of Erik's disappointment, a burden that seemed almost too much to bear. He spoke of Vinland, of its beauty and bounty. He described the lush forests, the fertile lands, and the promise it held for their people. He spoke of the promise it held, a future for their people. He envisioned a land where they could thrive, where their children could grow up in prosperity. But Erik, his eyes filled with sadness, shook his head. He could not see the future that Leif saw. His dreams were rooted in the past. He had dreamed of conquering new lands, not settling them. His vision was one of conquest and glory, not of peaceful settlement. He had hoped for gold and glory, not timber and grapes. The riches of Vinland were not the treasures he had sought. He felt Leif had failed him. The disappointment was palpable, a chasm that seemed impossible to bridge. Section 10. Legacy. Despite his father's disappointment, Leif's discovery was not in vain. Tales of Vinland, of its fertile lands and abundant resources, spread throughout Greenland and beyond. Soon, other Vikings, inspired by Leif's journey and seeking a better life, set sail for the west. Leif, true to his word, led several expeditions to Vinland. Though the settlements in Vinland ultimately did not last, Leif's journey marked a turning point in history. He had bridged the Atlantic. Centuries before Columbus, he had opened up the North American continent to European exploration and settlement. His courage, his determination, and his unwavering belief in the promise of a new world would forever be etched in the annals of history. Section 11. Conclusion. Leif Erikson, the son of Erik the Red, was a true Viking hero. He embodied the spirit of adventure, the thirst for exploration, and the unwavering courage that defined his people. His discovery of Vinland, though ultimately a footnote in history, serves as a testament to the indomitable human spirit, the eternal quest for new horizons, and the enduring power of a promise kept. And so, the story of Leif Erikson, the Viking who found a new world, continues to inspire, reminding us that even the most challenging journeys begin with a single step and a promise whispered on the wind.